Hi everyone, I'm Cari Fennell, and welcome to the show. Tonight I'm going to be making a Father's Day project. It was mostly inspired by our viewers because we were chatting one day about, our fathers. Some are still with us and some are not. And, we thought, what the heck, we'll do a Father's Day, a project, but not just for a dad's gift, but also maybe to honor the dads, that we lost. And I thought that this would be the perfect project, and it fits both categories really, really well. And I don't mean to call them categories because, dads are wonderful no matter what. And of course, we miss them terribly when they're not with us. So, I have to say that making this project, I really, really enjoyed going through the photographs that I had. And so I came up with this fun little frame and little mini book that goes inside. So it flips up. Oops, I can somehow maneuver everything. So it flips up, and there's actually photos from like when my dad was little until his teen years. And there he is as a dad for the first time with me and my mom. I was like 9 months old there. And then, good old 70s, lots of paneling and some shag rug action going on with my mom and me and my grandpa in the background. And then, I ended it with the most recent photo I had of my dad. This was from my wedding. So I did it that way on purpose just to kind of, go through the different stages and how we looked. And if you can see the picture, this is him as a little guy. I think he's about 3. And there's a little puppy right there in the picture with him, which I love because, I love puppies. And so I'm going to show you how to make this. Now, the material I used was just a wood frame I got at Hobby Lobby. But what I also want to tell you guys is that it can be used instead of a frame. If you can't find the exact frame, here it is. It's just wood. It's like really old, aged kind of burn wood with a place to put the photos, of course. It's a 4x6 frame. And it's got a little indentation in it. So see how it's about, I would say 3/4 of an inch deep. So my thing was, I wanted to make something that you guys could all kind of replicate too. It doesn't have to be a frame. I'm thinking you could use an old drawer or an old kind of crate, or turn something like a box type of thing into something like this. But there are a lot of frames out there, all different kinds from all kinds of stores. This one I just happened to find at Hobby Lobby, and it's kind of rustic looking. And I think I got it, you can see the price is $14.99, but their frames are always on sale, so I think they're always like 50% off. But just because if you can't find this exact thing, it's okay. Like, I was trying to think of something that even if you couldn't find this, you could substitute it with something very easy, very easy to find instead, or something you have kicking around. So this is the base, okay? It's just and you can see, like, well, I don't know if you can see, but there was like nail holes in it. Like, look, there's like a nail hole. So I think this is like repurposed wood. So heck, you could even make your own, or get your husband to make one and then give it to him for Father's Day. That would be hilarious. That's okay though. So that's my thought in mind. So what I'm going to do is just kind of show you guys and take you through step by step on how I made it. Okay, and I try to use things that were relatively easy to find. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down here. Please ignore the movement. Hopefully it was smooth. Okay, so here is the frame, and I did remove the back. And there's glass in here too, which I also removed because I wanted to get this, prepared. But you can see it's just plain old. You could even take a canvas, like a stretched canvas, and turn it upside down and use it that way too. That was another idea I had. So again, I just really wanted to use something that I thought you guys would find, or maybe get inspired by and find something really easy, to substitute with. Okay, so here's the wood frame, and what I'm going to do is take some color bloom spray. This is called Vintage Coal, and Vintage Coal is got like a dark coal color, like, so it's like kind of in the slate family, and there's a little bit, believe it or not, of like a green iridescence to it. So it's Vintage Coal, and I'm going to get that going. And what I did is I didn't spray, I kind of sprayed heavily in my original one, but I would say spray kind of far away and just let it kind of splatter onto the wood. And then I took a piece of paper towel, and you can even do this with a baby wipe, and just kind of really rub it into the wood grooves, because this wood's kind of rough. So I thought it would be good just to take a paper towel and just work it right into those grooves, and just keep spraying kind of from far away at all different angles. Try not to get my computer. It's okay. I'm getting hopefully a new one soon anyway. But I did all the sides, and you can still see some of the grain of the wood coming through. It's just simple. Okay, so we're not going real heavy duty on this, and that's really all I did. And I just went around all the angles, all the sides, and this dried really quickly. I actually put mine outside and just let it air dry. But you can heat set it, you know, if you're in a hurry. Okay. So far, so good. Just very light. Thing is, man, this sprayer is so powerful. It like shoots black. It shoots the Vintage Coal everywhere. So I got Vintage Coal like on my glue and on my, I don't know, everything. Oh gosh. Okay. I know I see it's acting up again. Hopefully the screen will come back to life. It says it's still going, so okay, good. Okay. All right, so there we have it. And what I did, of course, ahead of time is I sprayed one. I got two. I don't know what I'm going to do with these. And here it is. So it's not sprayed like evenly. There's still a lot of ridges. If you guys were to use this on canvas, it would work great, but obviously it works great on wood. Okay, so that's a bonus. All right, so the next step. I went and bought these Tim Holtz Ideology large ring binders, and they come in a pack of 2. I know he has a small set and then a large set, so I decided to use a larger set because this frame is a little bit deeper, so I wanted it to be a little bit bigger. So it's a 4x6 frame, and what you can do, you can always measure or see, make sure everything fits inside. It doesn't go all the way, here I'll hold it up, it doesn't go all the way across, so there's a little room to, you know, to play with. If you got a little bit larger frame or smaller frame, I think you'd be okay. All right, and so I just simply, let me see, I don't think it matters which side is up. So I just simply took my quick grip glue, which is also made by Beacon. Fabri-Tac will work just as well. It's just that quick grip it will not come off ever. So it's like a cement, okay? They're both Beacon products, but quick grip is my go-to when I really need something heavy duty. Like I'm doing metal to wood. So, you know, the better the glue, the better luck you'll have. And I'm just going to put like a thin line. You don't need a lot of this, and it comes out super fast in the tube. Like an E6000 also works well. So that's like the kind of glue I'm talking about here. And I'm just going to kind of let that rest for just a second. Now it comes with brads that you would normally put in to hold it in. So, but since I'm gluing it right in, I'm actually going to use, Inga Boom has all kinds of Junkyard Findings, right? She has nuts and bolts and screw heads, something like this. You can see I've used them, but like any kind of hardware. And actually she has some really cute screw head ones. I've used these before, but these have been out a little while, but they're some of my favorites. I'm actually going to use these to put in place of where the brads go, just to make it look a little more finished and more industrial, I guess you could say. So they're Junkyard Findings And you'll find all kinds of like cool hardware type of, what am I trying to say? Embellishments in her Junkyard Findings line. It's supposed to have that kind of industrial theme. So I'm just going to put these little, now you could also use the brads. Just cut the tongs off, you know, you could do that too. If you don't have these, or, you know, you can't find them. I know I've seen them around online. They've been out for a little while now, and I know stores have them, so they are readily available. But what I also like to do with these, I'm just going to dump all these out, okay? What I also like to do with these is use them just as like, you know, decoration too, like around the frame. So for instance, you can see like I used some of her nuts and bolts here and here, and it just, you know, it added a little bit, and it wasn't overwhelming to the project, but it looked kind of cool, and it gave it some of that masculine feel too. So, you know, you can use silver, you can use bronze. You know, I don't have any more of the ones I used on the original, so I might just go right ahead and use these black ones because they look just as good. See where I just lined them up? And I'm going to go ahead and glue those on. Why not? And then we're going to let this rest while the glue dries, and then I'm going to show you guys how I put the little mini book together, which is so easy. You're going to love it. So I don't think anyone has any questions so far. Delana has not. Delana is moderating for me tonight. She's so sweet. Thank you, Delana. So if you have any questions, just let Delana know, and she can text me, and I will be happy to answer any of your questions. So I'm using the quick grip still, and I'm just kind of lining these up. Again, these are the black ones. I don't know what they are. They're like little, see, I don't know the technical names for these things, and I should, because my dad, he was an engine guy, a tool guy, and raced cars as a hobby for many years. And I was always out in the garage with him, and you would think that I would know all the tools, but I don't. I don't know what I was doing. I think he had me cleaning or something, you know, sweeping stuff up, trying to keep me out of stuff, trying to keep me out of the grease, I think. But he was a real car guy, and he used to build engines for other people and build, you know, his race cars, and he never drove them. He was too tall to fit in the race car. So can you see that? Can you see where I just, you know, they're not perfectly lined up. They're not supposed to be, but they just add a little something, a little edginess. Yeah, he was too tall to fit in the car. He was 6'5", so his head always hit the roof of the race cars. And so he had a driver, and it was his best friend. Go figure. So I know it's silly. I just, you know, just some facts, some fun facts about Dad. You know, you guys can share some also. Okay, so what I'm going to pull out now is a 6x4 ATC pad. This is Cartographer. Now, all of our collections we released in January came out with, we came out with a 3x4 pad and a 6x4 pad. And I know you've seen a lot of us use these on Live with Prima before. And they're just wonderful, perfect size cards. So what I decided to do was use these as the pages in this little, oh gosh, stuff's going to start. I used these as the pages for the inside of my book. And I actually glued them back to back. So when you flip it up, you know, you see a nice designed area. And this is where I can journal about the picture in the front and add even more photos too. So that's all I did. I mean, can you believe it? That's just so easy. And that's what I love about easy cards like this, because it just makes life so easy. All right, so just pull out some that you really like. So I pulled out some that I want for my front and some that I want for the back. Potty in the back. And there's words and stuff on here, but you know what? My photos go right over the center, so I didn't even really care, you know, what was on the front, because my photo is going to cover it up anyway. So, you know, you pick 4 that you like. That's how many I used, and then I picked another 4 I like just for the back side. And I should have probably, some of these are in French. Ooh, some of you girls from Canada know what these say, but I have no idea. I've not looked them up. Oh, it's terrible. Okay. Oops, there goes my other friend. Okay. So, again, just doing back to back. Chicken chat. You want to do this first before you punch your holes. You know, so you're not re-punching them again and again. Alright. Yeah, so I really haven't thought about, like, oh no, I just ran out of my tape right now, so I'll just have to go to my glue. I might even make one and give one to my mom, even though this is like kind of a Father's Day thing, but I think she'd really love it. You know, to have like something really fun like this, you know, about my dad. She can put it on display in her house, you know, or my brother, because, you know, it's his dad too, of course. My dad, my brother was always involved in the racing too, growing up. I wasn't allowed to go. I guess the racetracks were not appropriate for girls, so not allowed to go. Wait, I heard my phone. The back's a little naked. The backs are naked on every page. No journaling yet. No siree. Oh, what did I do? Got that? Oh, I glued these two together and I didn't want to do that. So sorry. Intermission. Intermission. Okay, just reapply glue and then reapply correct paper. Sorry about that. Now, I didn't go through an edge and, you know, ink the, you know, the cards, but you certainly can. I think I'm going to take my sweater off. I just kind of left it as is. You know, I don't know for whatever, I don't know what the reason was behind that, but I know how you guys like to do your edging and your inking and stuff like that, which I also do too. But I just didn't do that. Okay, now the tricky part. It's not really that tricky. So I took the second binder from the pack and I just lined up my card and I lined it up as evenly as I could, so there's an equal amount of space on both sides, and I'm going to use this kind of the straight line here to tell me where it is. Alright, so I just made some little dots with my pens according to where the rings are on here. That's all I did. Alright, and I'm going to go in, I don't know, about 1/4 of an inch from the edge. That's it. I grab my Crocodile. And what's really great is the Crocodile has this little kind of ruler thing here on the side of the hole punch. So there's your hole. So you can go in at the same depth if you just measure it in by how many little nicks you want here on the side, which I thought was really handy. So I'm going to try it, because what you want to do, it's sort of important to have the two holes line up as evenly as possible, because when it goes to hang in the binding rings, okay, if one side is a little lower than the other, it's going to kind of hang a little crooked, and you don't want that. Well, it would drive me nuts. Maybe it won't bother you. That's totally fine. But it would drive me nuts, and so I did that actually in the original one, and it's driving me nuts. So I'm passing that tip along to you guys because I thought I had it lined up pretty good and I wasn't paying attention. So learn from my mistakes. Now all I'm doing is I'm using the original one I did as my template for the other 3 pages that I prepared. So I'm just putting them underneath and just punching my holes. Punching my holes. The only thing, I hate when the little paper pieces get stuck though in the hole punch in the Crocodile, don't you? That drives me nuts. If anybody knows of a tip to keep that from happening, please share, because, man, I would sure love to know. Alright, so I've got all 4 punched and glued back to back with other pieces from the ATC set. pretty easy so far. This is kind of like a Steph class. This reminds me of Steph class. She usually comes up with all these cool little mini book projects. And what I also did is I grabbed some reinforcers, you know, that you use in binders, and just added these over the holes just for a little bit of extra, just to kind of finish it off, and for a little bit of extra strength. I don't think it's going to go too far because of the two pieces of paper together. I think the thickness is good, but it just adds a little something anyway. So. And I took these were just plain white reinforcers, and I just inked them with, like, I don't know, like my Distress ink tea stain or something like that. That's what I did. But I noticed that they have all these decorative ones you can buy now, so have at it, you know. Get some really nice decorative ones. Make it really spiffy. So I think I did okay with these. Alright, so then you just, you know, line them up the way you want them, what goes from front to back, and that is that. So they're all ready to go. Pretty clever. I don't know if this is too dry. Yeah, it's kind of dry. I don't want to mess it up too much. So I just opened it up now. I'm going to go ahead. Oh, see? I glued it a little bit too far south. So the glue's still wet. So that's another thing too. Remember, test and see where it's going to end up, and that will help with this placement too. Because when it's open and closed and, you know, all that jazz, it's much different. You're learning from all my mistakes tonight. Let's see. Are you? Yes, the reinforcers are just from like the school supply area, or from like office store, like Office Max or Staples or something. Yes, Delana, that's exactly right. Thank you for asking. Just plain old white ones that I got. Maybe I'm gonna have to add a little more glue. Glue just takes a little bit to set up, but once it sets up, that's it. You're done. That's a great question. All right, now that was easy. Now for the fun part, and it's decorating time. All right, so the sad part is, okay, I went from fun to sad to fun, back to sad, because the original ribbon I used on my project, look at this. I just realized this today. I'm like, oh, that's all I have left. It's so sad, because I think that that ribbon looks so stinking cute on there. So obviously I'm going to have to order more. This was May Arts ribbon. Let's see. It's the code on it is AKB10, and it's May Arts, and it's 7. Here, I'll hold it up. 7/8 by 30 yards. So it's AKB10, and it's just a black and cream check. Okay. So 7/8 is the width, and it comes in a roll of 30 yards. And I believe if you just search, you know, May Arts checked ribbon, you'll be able to find it. So I'm gonna have to go to my old standby, my real thick, creamy black one. It's not gonna be the same, I know. It's gonna be sad. And I just started by wrapping it around the back of the card, and I'm just gonna tie. I'm gonna tie a knot instead of a bow with this. Okay. Oh, that's the same text that came through before from Delana. Perfect. All right. Oh, wait a minute. I seem to have misplaced my scissors. Or the children took them. Oh, gosh. Peter? Peter? Sorry, guys. Peter, can you run up and grab scissors for me?
Are you doing live?
Yeah, I am. Yes. He's like, are you live? I'm like, yes. And I'm calling for you for help. Do scissors walk away for you guys all the time? Because they do for me. So while we're waiting for scissors, I'm going to show you some other products I use. I use the Ivy Bay Gold Leaves, and it's 574628. Now I've been using these, thank you very much, I've been using these on projects left and right lately. And I think that they kind of add to the vintage, you know, feel of this project in a way. They add interest and a little bit of elegance, but they're still not, they're not super fancy. You know, you can dress them down a little bit. There we go. Oh, Peter's so nice for doing that for me. He's such a good guy. And then I also used some time traveler flowers. We have these beautiful blooms that come in like a variety package. I know there's a glare, but if you can see that there's some hydrangeas, there's roses, and there's also some velvet leaves in here too, which are really pretty with the golds. And then I also have one more pack, and it's another time traveler flower, and it's got the multi-pack of colors and printed flowers with the gold centers. And this is 575090, and this one was 575083. If you want all the product numbers and everything I use, I did put them on the blog today, the Prima blog. It's prima.typepad.com, and also on the Live with Prima Facebook group page as well. So if you need to go back and see, you can find them there. So I'm going to go ahead and dump everything out. So what are you guys going to do for Father's Day? I don't even know. Pete got to golf on Mother's Day, so that is his Father's Day gift. How about that? All right, I'm going to go ahead and put a couple of those gold leaves down. Now when I do this, I'm very careful not to, you know, glue too, how do I want to say this? Like I don't want to put too much glue on the back of the leaf, so I'm just going to put it on the very bottom so that it just sticks, because the whole point is to open up this whole flap so that whole ensemble comes forward. Alright, so just a very little bit of glue on that very bottom part of that leaf. And I like them kind of hanging off a little bit onto the edge of the frame. Can you close that door too? Yep. Thank you. Okay, now I always use my leaves last, right? I always give you guys that lecture, do your leaves last. But in this case, I kind of wanted to do them first because I want to know where they're going to lay. And now I can fill in the middle with whatever I want. So see where I put the leaves so far? They just kind of hang off a little bit, but they're not glued down, just at the very end. So now I can add a few flowers for some fun. And also I can't forget, which I may not add right now, but I'll show you guys what I did. I also have the Prima wired thread. You can buy it by the spool. It's got 25 yards on it. And this one is the black one. And the number on this is 572051. See? And Delana came up with the most ingenious idea, and then Sharon told me about it and tried to take all the credit for it, but then she had to finally admit it was Delana's idea. For some reason, when you take the packaging off of these, the wrapper, they just spring open. And Delana came up with the amazing idea to take your crocodile and just punch holes like around the lip. And then when you're done, you just stick that wire through, and then it just stays in place and it doesn't unravel. She is so smart. That was such a, and so Sharon finally had to share that idea with me because I was like, that is so awesome. So, great job, Delana. Cool idea. Hope I didn't steal your thunder and you were going to share that on Live with Prima sometime. So, I'm just going to unravel it now just to show you guys. I just made a simple loop. I just took off a couple feet of the wire, and I just kind of wrapped it very, very loosely in a circle, kind of with my hand. So you can go around 2 or 3 times, it doesn't matter. Just like that. So I know it's hard to see. And all I did was layer that over the front of the card, which I might do right now, it doesn't matter. And I can take the ends of that wire and wrap it around my circle just to secure it. So you just twist it, and then you have this real funky little circle, and you can kind of play with it once it's kind of, uh-oh, it bounced off. it bounced off. And this wire thread comes in like all kinds of colors, like even white and cream, so you could color your own. Yes, but isn't that just so cute? And that just added just a little something extra. So I might go ahead and we'll see where I wrapped it together right here. That's where I'm going to put my glue. Where is my glue? Where did it go? Oh my gosh, this happens. Oh, here it is. So I'm going to put my glue actually right where I attached it all together. And I can tuck that in underneath the flower. So I have that sticking up. Actually, I can put it right underneath my ribbon piece. See, this ribbon's much bigger and I don't have a photo. So it's kind of like, I'll have to slide a photo in later. But that's the main idea. And now I can start, I'm going to take this really pretty rose that came in that little bloom pack of the Time Traveler flowers. And I'm just going to put that down. And see how it's just starting to come together as it does. Let's see. Make sure. I got another little creamy one with little script that came from the multi-pack with the gold centers, the pattern flowers. And I'm going to tuck that little guy in right here. Alright, just like that. And now those pretty little soft velvety leaves that were also in that pack, I can tuck those in with my gold leaves. And they just add a little bit of, you know, contrast and color. It's still very soft. And you guys know how I love more leaves. The more the merrier. I think Prima should make a whole pack of just these kind of leaves. That is what I think, but you know, we'll see. So I'm just kind of dotting those in. See how I'm just clustering? It's very simple. And I'm not putting everything in real tight together yet because I actually would love to add some metals. Because we have the metal going up here, we have some metal on the sides. Let's take some metal and stick it in there. So I grabbed like some various ones. Like, you know, I have some mechanicals from Finnabair. So these are like little gears and little fun little doodads, right? So I'm going to pour these out. And these, you guys know I love tucking these in. So I'm going to grab this little gear right here. I'm going to probably put it in right there with the flowers. I gotta put one more glue in here. And again, I'm just using the Fabri-Tac. This is how I'm just building everything up together. Okay. I know, you're just like, okay, just do it. And then I grabbed, you remember these small little typo bulbs? Oh gosh, the glare is horrible. Remember these little typo bulbs that have little words on them? So I had originally used you. I think I'm going to use the one, that says love, even though it's you know, up and down. Who cares? I'm going to put that little guy up here. Anybody have any questions? Oh, thanks, Laura. Hi, Laura. Hey, Emma. I'm kind of like trying to work here, and I'm not really looking at the chat too much, but thank you, everyone, for coming. You guys are always so sweet and supportive. I am grabbing another one of those little nuts and bolts, that little Junkyard Finding, like I did on the side here, and I'm going to add the middle to the middle of that little gear and see how like it's just kind of coming together. I don't know if I like that there, but I'm going to leave it there, I guess, for now. See, it's not the same without the bow. I know the other bow was so rocking. Here, I'm going to have to move this because I'm going to move the little light bulb. But that's okay. You guys can use any ribbon you want. You can use black ribbon. You can change up the color scheme. I mean, yeah, I had to change it and move it over there. Sorry. Just try and get everything to stick down. Once I know where I want it. We are good. Okay, so there we go. See how it's coming together? And then up here, I just did a little bit more of that. And, you know, it took a little bit of thought also just to try to figure out, it's not a very big area, but I wanted a lot of I wanted some detail from the back. See, I have a leaf kind of peeking out all the way from the back, and I have a little flower right here. So what I actually did, I was just kind of looking at it, and I just slid this leaf in right here. And I'm like, okay, that looks kind of cool coming out from the way back. And then the same with the flower. Like, I got it. I was just kind of messing. That's what I do. I don't know if you guys do the same thing, but I just kind of play with things and see where they look good. So I'm actually going to glue this flower right directly to the back of this binder ring. Right on the metal. And I'm going to hold it up and show it to you in just a second. And then I'm going to do the gold leaf off to the side. Around the same area. I know I covered up one of my Junkyard Finding little screw heads. That's okay. That's alright. So I guess you only need one. One is all you need. Okay, so see? So they're just kind of peeking out from the back. And I just slid those in with a little bit of glue. And then I'll add more to the top. So it'll give it like kind of a layered look, but this part won't move. So I'm going to grab one more gold leaf about right here. I'm going to put him about right there. There we go. Just like that. I know it looks kind of weird right now, but you'll have to trust me. And then another one of those fun little scripty time traveler flowers, and then another little velvet leaf coming up here. And then that's all I did. So that's how I clustered it. And I'm just going to adjust that. And then I did put, Kingfield also has these really cool keyholes. I know the package, it all dumped out. I apologize. It's Junkyard Findings keyholes, and it came with like 6 little different keyholes in the pack. And like I said, mine dumped out. So here's one, and I've used a couple. So here's one right here, and they're just really all different and assorted, and they're really fun to use. I thought, oh, these are really cool. I think I want to use a couple of these in the book. And I have to say I was really excited because once I used a couple, they looked really cute. So I'm going to tuck one of those in up here. And this one's a little ornate looking, but I think it's perfect. It's a black, so it brings a little bit more of that black into our cluster, just to have everything come together. So yes, I'm tucking things in and sliding them in. And I will show that to you in just a second. Oh, the glue is it's sticking to my finger because there's glue on my finger too. Sorry about that. And then, oh, she also has, these are called ignition keys. So these are really fun because there's spark plugs and there's keys. And on the spark plugs it says action, fun, and power. And then the keys say happiness, explore, and joy. So I used the happiness key on the front of mine. I know there's a terrible glare, so sorry. Ah, much better. Much better. Just want to pull out that key. So see how I'm just mixing a lot of these different metals in. I don't care if the metal has the same finish. I like the bronze with the gold and the silver. I think that it's fine. There are no rules. So think about, like, you know, all these little gears and all these little things, you know, and just kind of throwing them all together. And, you know, this can be, you could make this for a couple guys. You know, your husband, your father-in-law, you know, whoever you want, grandpa. You will have enough in each of the sets. So if you buy one set of the metals, you know, you'll have plenty to just make a couple for, you know, all the guys, or even just for yourself. Like I said, if you want to just have a little memory thing, for, you know, for your dad, or, you know, someone you lost, like grandpa. All right. And I have another little pack. It's another little vintage trinket pack. This is also by, it's from Sunrise Sunset. It's also by Finnabair. So again, gears, you know, time, like pieces that go, you know, in our clock. And then remember I had these also. So see how they all kind of match? You can mix and match them together, but it doesn't really matter, you know, which one do you use. I even have this, I'm going to put this really cool metal piece, like, maybe not over the flower, maybe around the flower. I don't know, maybe I won't use it. I don't know. It's just kind of fun. It's kind of fun to just kind of put them in there and see. Now, I don't know. I can't decide. So you know what? I'm not going to put anything on there. I'm just going to hold this up though so you can see. Maybe with the light that would be better. So you can see the keyhole in here. You see the flower, the leaves. I hung another little key down. So all I have to do is kind of slide a photo in. Just slide the photo in over this and you'll be good to go. Alright, and see how I layered all of these together. And that's good. And you can add as much or as little as you want. I'll hold up the original again so you can see that too. So see where I put the metals, the flowers. There's the keyhole there. Here you have the typo bulb and the gears and the flowers. Alright, so it's just kind of fun to play around. Alright, so then hopefully everything, the glue is set pretty good. I think it is. Usually this glue does. So when I flipped it over, I noticed, you know, in some cases I could see the leaves, and that was really pretty to me. So all I did was add just a couple more flowers up here to the top cluster. So I'll show you that in the original. See that? I just have a couple of flowers up there. So that was kind of nice because you already have your foliage going up there. So grab any of the flowers that you like. I'm going to use this ribbon spool to kind of hold it up. But you guys get the idea, right? You can use whatever you want. So I'm going to go ahead and just glue, that's it. Just glue a couple flowers down and I'll add a metal. And then I also wanted to point out, remember I mentioned there's these 4x6 cards? Well, there's also the 3x4. I could actually journal on a card and then glue that down here if I want to also. So that's a nice option. So, you know, just to keep that in mind. And I actually have a little spark plug. I'm going to put it in with the flowers. You think that's cheesy? No. Who cares? I'm putting in a spark plug that says fun. Because I think those are the cutest things I've ever seen, those little spark plugs. So I do know what those are. I do remember what those are from my dance garage. Alright, so that's it. That's all I did. And left the rest of the space. I can add another photo. I can journal. Whatever. Okay? So my photo pretty much took up this whole page that you cannot see. This whole page on my book. So you see there's a picture of my dad and he's in a football uniform. He's 13 right there, I believe, or maybe 14. And he didn't really like football that much, which I use this photo because it's hilarious because he looks miserable because he really is. He didn't like football. Only because, I don't know why, but he didn't like it. And they always made him play because he was big. Like my dad was like 6'5" guy, so he grew really fast young. And say grandpa again, I missed it. Grandpa. Isn't it the way you say grandpa? So anyway, yeah, he was not happy. So you can just leave this space open for a picture or decorate. Well, let's decorate. Why not? What the heck? All right. So we'll use a couple more. I'll just keep going until you guys tell me to stop. All right. So I can use like another leaf here if I want. Maybe this one would be pretty. And I can use one of my bigger flowers like that. And maybe I'll put in this little green guy right here. Well, that's cute. And then I can add another little velvet leaf here. Maybe. Okay, just like that. So, oh, I'm going to put the green in the middle of the black one. I think that'll look so cool. Oops, putting glue on that. So that's it, you guys. You just go through and play with more stuff. Yes, I'm gluing leaves down first. Oh. And this will come together in no time flat. So it's really all about now adding all the fun little... Now, I don't mind using flowers on my dad's pictures because, you know what? I don't know. It doesn't bother me at all. Maybe some people don't want to use the flowers. That's fine. Don't use the flowers. Use metals. You know, use whatever you like. Here's another little keyhole I could add coming out here next to the flower. Or, ooh, I can use a little typo bulb. I don't know. There's so many possibilities. Sprockets and gears and fun things like that. So maybe I can add like a little gear and then put the typo bulb. Yeah, that's perfect. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah, yes. They're saying you say grandpa like the Waltons. Really? Grandpa. I have this annoying upstate New York accent everybody makes fun of. I don't know. Sometimes I, you know, have that long A, like from Boston, but not quite. Like I'm not anything like Boston, but... So let me turn down that light. Can you see that? So I just added a couple little leaves, a little gear, a little bulb, a couple flowers, and then all I have to do is tuck in a picture. So let's say I just grabbed this picture from my bulletin board, so see how pretty it would look, you know, just kind of tucked down in there. And then you can leave yourself some room for, like, you can even stitch and sew around these cards. You can add some journaling here, or, you know, fun little date stamp or something like that. It's really leaves you lots of room for options. Because, you know, when we're thinking of our dads and all the fun times we had, you know, that's kind of what we want to do. I want to talk about it. So, you know what I should do is I'll show you. So there he is playing football. He's so miserable, right? So there he is. I don't know. Can you see those mutton chops on him? You see those? Is that what they call them? Mutton chops? Those giant sideburns? Yeah, he had them. And just so you know, I know you can't see, he's got like a white t-shirt on and these awful, ugly brown pants. It's hysterical. It's so 70s. And there's my mom and there's me. I'm right in the middle. Right there. So I see how this photo is going, you know, side to side. I didn't really have a choice in the photos that I chose because I just had what I had to work with. It's okay that it's there and that it hung off a little bit. It's not a big deal. It's kind of like an old 70s Polaroid. And then I'll show you another one here. There he is again, sans the sideburns. And my mom is always making the weirdest faces in every photo. And I'm in the middle, and that's my grandpa on the other side, who looks totally happy to be there, doesn't he? Oh my gosh. So that was like our orange shag carpeting I grew up with, and the brown wood paneling on the walls. So I hope you guys don't mind I'm showing you this. And then there he is, years later, you know, at my wedding. And he looked so good. It really did. So see how these photos can really make you laugh and oh geez. So okay, so now another thing I want you guys to think about when you're putting these things on here on this little flippy floppy thing. Be careful where you're placing your stuff because you want it to lay somewhat flat, right? So like if you have a cluster here, then perhaps on the next page you might want it up here. The opposite of here. This is where you had the one on the last page. So maybe do a cluster up here or on this side so that it doesn't all like stick up like, you know, flop sideways. I don't know. You guys probably already knew to do that, but you know, I'm just saying it and putting it out there in case you didn't. And I'm just going to glue some more flowers. So what do you guys think so far? I don't know. I'm not reading the chat, so I feel like I'm missing out. missing out on tons of fun. Perhaps I'm not. Oh, let's see. We can go with another. Little keyhole and have it kind of sticking out here in the flowers. Yeah, why not? And we can even take, where did I put, oh, a little baggie. Those little Junkyard Findings, again, use them. We have like little screw heads, and those would look just so cute, just like kind of lined up at the bottom, just to add a little border here. That would look, that's perfect. I'm going to do that. Why not? Yeah, so I think I'll definitely have to give one of these to my mom. Well, I got to tell you a funny story about that orange shag carpet. So, like, we had it in our house forever, right? And my dad refused to get rid of it. My mother was furious because she's like, this rug has to go, okay? To the point where there were, in some areas, it was so worn out, there were nails coming up, like, you know, the nails they put the carpeting in with, they were coming up. So every once in a while, you would step on one. Yeah, it was bad. So one day, one weekend, he left for the races, and she called her friends and told them to come over, and they pulled it out and put it on the curb. And he had to get new carpeting. I do not blame her one bit. I would have done the same thing, but a lot sooner. She was very good. She waited a long time before she did that. I would have done it much sooner. So, bless her heart. There we go. So we've got those little Junkyard Findings down here. We got a couple little flowers up here, and then we are ready for a photo. Photo of, like, perhaps the 70s or 80s or even older than that. Whatever works for you guys. Okay, so now we're down to our last page. Now, I know that there's like a big area here. Now, all I have to do, I can add one more photo to this frame and put the stand back on, and so you can even flip up the very last page, and there's still one more photo. So that I thought was really cool too. So, and you can, you know, you don't have to go in order. You know, you can just put some of your most favorite photos of your loved ones. And this could be great for baby. This could be great for wedding. I mean, all kinds of stuff. Okay, so now let's see, how am I doing on my balance act here? I think everything is laying pretty flat. So I think for this one, since I have my cluster up here, I'm going to put it just down here. Just do a little something down here, and then that's it. Let's see. So now I can perhaps choose a couple more flowers. Maybe put it in the center. It kind of covers it up. I can put it like that. That will look great. Ah! The glue is coming through the gear. Sorry. Add a couple of those flowers. And then I'm going to add like a little Junkyard Finding to this. It's just a little nut or bolt. I'm just going to add it to the center of that gear here. And then there's another spark plug. And there's another key. This one says Joy. So maybe even the key could kind of be tucked in here off to the side. You know, I'm just layering metals and flowers. I know, it's so funny, right? I'm going to add that right there. And this one says Joy. Yeah, so this would be a great gift for, you know, your son if he's like a new father. This would be great for tons of guys. And I don't think they'd mind the flowers, but if you really think they would mind the flowers, you don't have to put them in. Just keep it all metal. Okay, so see, just like that. Just a little cluster of metals and flowers. Kind of cool. So that is it. I mean, I just kept the decorating kind of simple on the inside because it doesn't have to be super, you know, super duper knockout tons of stuff. But you can. You know, I don't tell you guys what to do because you guys can do whatever you want. But that is that. That's all I did to build this. And I will show you, again, the original. Like I just, for the last page, I just used a couple flowers and another one of those keyholes. A couple flowers layered together with leaves. You know, nothing because I have stuff going on up here. And then the final. That is it. So hopefully you guys can see it okay. Looks good. And that's it. So I know you guys are talking about other things, but was that okay? Yeah. So do you guys have any questions? Like, do you need to know about anything that I used? I apologize to anybody watching the recording. I'm talking to the chat, talking to the viewers on the chat, making sure I covered all my bases. Great. Now, I mean, do you think you guys could, I mean, find something like a box or, you know, something you could repurpose for a project like this? I mean, I think you could. I think there's a lot of things out there. You know, this is actually like, this could be a drawer, you know, pulled from an old dresser that's just beat and, you know, you saved or have it, little curio box or something. Yes, yes, bride and groom. Like, I know. Well, that we have the Something Blue collection, and it has the ATC cards. Same thing. You can make it in wedding. It could be baby. It could be anniversary. I mean, this could be anniversary very, very easily. And you can customize the colors to match, you know, the person's home decor or their own personal taste, or keep it neutral. Was that good? Yeah, a tray. Exactly. You could use a tray. Anything. Check your, yes, Deb, you're right. Check your local thrift shop. You'd be amazed at what you can find. Walk into like a little, you know, little antique store and see if they just got some wooden stuff kicking around. You know, sometimes they don't throw anything out. They save everything. So again, here's the one I just made. Here's the one I had before. All right. And again, you know, the color bloom sprays colored this wood beautifully. It colored it like a stain. There is shimmer on it, so it's kind of cool. It has that shimmery effect too, which makes it kind of elegant. Like just, it's, you know, rustic and elegant at the same time. So you just make it work. You make it work. Thank you. Thank you so much, you guys. Okay, so coming up on Tuesday, we have a guest designer from Sweden, and her name is Isla Sandberg. I don't know if you know her, but she's very, very sweet, and she loves Prima, and she makes beautiful projects, and I invited her to teach a few classes for us. So I'm really excited. She has a beautiful layout, and her theme with the layout is travel, which I think a lot of us will be doing or have done, you know. So that'll be really exciting. That's on Tuesday. Let me see, May, what's the date? Oh no, I'm looking at May. No, it's not May. June 10th at 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern time, 7 p.m. UK, 8 p.m. Sweden. How about that? All off the top of my head. And then we also have you know, our venture in Atlanta coming up. We are, you know, definitely trying to get the word out about that and get some people to come and join us for an amazing art venture weekend, Prima-filled weekend. Ken Oliver's teaching, Steph Miller's teaching, Sharon Lockinen is teaching, and you get 6 classes and a huge goodie bag, make takes, and all kinds of fun stuff. So that's October 18th and 19th in Atlanta, Georgia. So that'll be really fun too. So thank you so much, everyone, for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it, and you know, please, you know, feel free to tell your friends and anyone who you know that loves scrapbooking to join our free classes. They're free. You know, these are ideas, techniques, things that you can incorporate in your own projects, and you know, there's always something new to learn, you know, even if it's the simplest thing. And you know, we really enjoy all of our viewers and people in the chats that participate. We appreciate it so much. So once again, thank you, Delana, thank you everyone for coming, and I will see you guys Tuesday. I'll be modding Tuesday. All right, have a great weekend.